Welcome to the Nightly Rant. I'm Mike.
And I'm Torya.
This is the show where we talk about the awful things that have happened in our day, the awesome things that have happened in our day,
and all the things in between.
Thanks for listening, and we truly hope you enjoy.
Do you miss the glory days of talk radio, where the hosts knew their stuff and were not spreading fake stories? What would it be like if those same hosts could speak their mind and not have to answer to management for it? I have just the thing for you. Spencer Hughes Podcast Adventures is the new show from Spencer Hughes, formerly of Fox News Radio and a host of other places. For as little as $1 a month, you can have access to Spencer again. His insights will make you think, and his humor will make you laugh. This is your chance to help a man build his dream and support his family. Head over to patreon.com/Spencer Hughes today and subscribe to one of the several levels you can choose from. You will not be disappointed in the content you are going to begin receiving. Patreon.com/Spencer Hughes. Adventurous content, the way radio used to be.
So we had another interesting evening of talking to interesting new people.
Did we now? Who did we talk to?
The lady's name was Nancy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the guy's name was Ken. That's interesting. We talked to Ken and Nancy.
Okay.
They were nice people.
Why do their names make it more interesting? I don't disagree that they were nice people.
Because their names kind of fit how they looked.
Interesting.
To me, that's how I felt.
That's
Like Ken doesn't surprise me that he's a Ken, and Nancy doesn't surprise me that she's a Nancy.
Maybe you surprise me that you're a Mike.
Maybe I do, but that has nothing to do with the discussion that we're having.
It has everything to do with
Because Ken and
discussion.
Nancy were the people we were talking about, not Mike.
No, we were also talking about you.
But it was interesting. But I don't know, it makes me realize, like, I don't know. It makes me realize how important it is to find people
Like that?
that you get friendly with and become like acquaintances, even closer friends, whatever, because they can support you later in whatever endeavors you have.
You mean people?
But like-minded people. It has to be like-minded people.
You mean people who come up to you after an election were like, we didn't know you were on the ballot. We voted for you.
Yeah.
Those kind of people?
Yeah. It's
know your name but don't necessarily have a lot to do with your life?
Right. Or at one point, well, the person you're talking about at one point, I saw every day.
Well, I understand that.
But yeah.
But there were other people.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like your tattoo artist.
Yeah. I mean, it goes to show you, like, you think that, if you think about it, I did not keep it any secret that I was running for office. I was very vocal everywhere that I could be vocal.
Yes.
So it's kind of interesting to note that there are a bunch of people out there that literally, I think they open social media up in the morning, they open it up during their lunch break, and they open it up maybe before they go to bed. And that's pretty much it. They're not checking it on a regular basis. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't play a big role in their life.
I'm honestly shocked there are people you were friends with on Facebook who are active on Facebook that didn't know you were running for office.
Yeah, how?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't interact with your posts enough, so Facebook has removed you from their algorithm.
Yeah, it goes to show you how great that news feed algorithm is. Not at all, actually.
Do you know if you look at things by most recent, it essentially solves the problem?
That's interesting.
So
you force change the...
Yeah. And it will actually show your shit in most recent and not filter it out, except for the people you've decided to unfollow, obviously.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to see their stuff. You're not supposed to anyway.
Right.
But
or the people you're taking a break from.
But it also made me realize how important it is to have those kind of connections, right? But it has to be like-minded people. Because, like, tonight, he talked about Loretta Sanchez and Sharon Cork-Silva as people who knew him the very first time he ever ran for office and they pushed him to try again and again and again. So clearly, they've been a big part of his entire career in politics, and they must have known him before that, at least a little bit, to support him in that endeavor.
Right.
So
I don't disagree with you at all.
I just think it's interesting. You need that kind of stuff. But then it made me think about how there's so many things that bring people together.
Oh, yeah?
It's not just politics or religion, although those things like Matt, he has a lot of friends because of his time at church.
Well,
in fact, that's where the majority of his friends come from.
That's not because they were brought together by... I guess they were facilitated by religion. But being like-minded is what brought them together. You can be like-minded about all sorts of different things.
Yeah, but do you think that it would be less likely for an atheist who thinks the same way as him to get through to him as it would be for another person who identifies as a Christian to get through to him? Because don't you think that by the fact that they tell you they're an atheist, that automatically turns off the church-going person and they don't pay as much attention?
Well, probably. But again...
Okay, so then that point brings
you
back to the point.
Facilitated it.
It brought it about. But then there's also, and this is what I wanted to talk about tonight, music.
Something you like, huh?
Music is something that, I mean, we've had the conversation before. You once said to me that you could not be friends with somebody who wasn't interested in music.
I think people who don't at least like some kind of music are a little bit strange.
Yeah. Because
and I don't think they're my people.
Well,
There's
think
nothing
about
wrong
it.
with that.
But think about it. Music permeates every aspect of your life. It's on television. It's on the radio. It's in commercials. It's on
Stuck
online
in your head
ads.
on Saturday morning.
It's in videos. And that's just funny. Like, okay, when the internet was first born, like, you know, the way it is, social media was first born, people were going nutsy crazy, building fancy videos with an intro and an outro and all this stuff. They were going crazy with it because that's what they were used to doing prior to social media.
Okay.
Sharing things in like a fancier, you know, more professional manner. And then the experts said, don't do that. Just be raw. Be yourself. And say what's on your mind. And it was kind of like the birth of Gary Vaynerchuk and his videos where I can remember thinking, man, if I was his partner, I'd be pissed. Because he was on an airplane going from New York to Los Angeles, and he was sitting in first class. All the lights were out. It was pitch black dark in the plane, and he's giving a rant with just his Apple earbuds and his iPhone, giving a rant loudly. And I guarantee you that was a red-eye flight just by the way it looked. And people were trying to sleep, and he's ranting. But he didn't give one F about that. Like, not one. And
did he give a U, a C, or a K?
And then it was like, well, you don't need to worry about music, and you don't need to worry about an intro. And it worked for a really long time. But now it's kind of swinging back. But it's kind of swinging back to edited videos.
People seem to like produced intro, produced outro, and raw middle part now.
But here's the thing. Even big YouTubers, when YouTube first hit the scene, there'd be a video of a dude talking about, this is my Boulder Rock vape device. Do you see how it comes apart? And the camera's in one angle the whole time, never changing, same angle, the same guy talking, no cuts with a picture of the item or an advertisement of the item or a website to go to or a quote or anything like that. It was all them just right there. Now you watch YouTube videos and they've got multiple camera angles. That's why that software, whatever it's called, I told you about, is out there, because people have 5 cameras pointed at them when they go live now.
Yep.
Like 5 cameras. I'm lucky to figure out how to make one work. 5 cameras. And then they cut those things together to create a produced video. And a lot of these people, not even big name people, okay, have a staff of like 4 or 5 people that's their job, is these people put stuff together and your job is to be a professional. And when you think about it, it makes a hell of a lot of sense because the content is what's going to make the money. What is he eating?
I don't know, but he fished it out from under the couch, whatever it is. Ew, Yogi, I think it was a poop. I think it was a guinea pig turd, and I think I just touched it and fished it out of his slobbery little poo trap.
So, it's interesting to me that it kind of came full circle. And even the so-called raw video isn't really raw anymore because they have so many camera angles that they use on it.
Yeah.
So, but the reason I bring that up is because it ties back to music. Because now music has become this important aspect of these things to create emotion. Like, you can't record a podcast commercial unless you put some music under it. It is a rarity to have someone be able to just say, yeah, my name is Joe Blow, and I'm here today to advertise the new device called blah, blah, blah. People can't do that unless there's some kind of music behind it.
It's always got at least elevator music behind it.
Yeah,
because it catches your attention.
And so I think music is, for most people, like a common thing, like a thing that ties them together. But then what's weird about music is that then there's so many types of music. And some people like this type, and some people like that type. Some people like annoying music that's annoying to me, but wouldn't be annoying to them. It's all really, I don't know.
And nobody likes what you listen to.
Different and interesting. No, that's why they sell millions and millions of copies of their music, because nobody listens to it. But like, I was just looking at my artist list in here in my Spotify. And like, I want you to think about, we'll pick a number, 5 or 10.
6.
No, I didn't give you an option of 6. Now you see, isn't she lucky that I haven't killed her yet? Like, this is what I get all day long. This is what I get all day long. She's lucky, right? And you can write in info@yogispodcastnetwork.com. Just one word. Yes or no. Was she lucky? Is she lucky that she's still alive, acting that way? Yes or no? That's all I got to hear. Thanks. Anyway, I gave you 2 options, 5 or 10. No other option. If you don't pick the option, if you mess around again and say 7 or whatever one of the options I didn't give you, I'm going to pick the option. And you're not going to like it. So you need to pick the option.
5.1.
Okay, good. The option's going to be 100. I want your top 100.
I'm sorry, but 100 wasn't one of the 2 options.
Hey, I told you, if you don't pick one of the options, I get to pick. You decided to screw around. I got to pick. It's 100 now.
So there's that.
So then give me 10.
Nah, I don't think I have 10.
Yep, you can get 10.
I think you have to go first because you're being a butthead.
I could give you 100
Go right ahead.
in like 30 seconds.
You're cheating.
Well, first of all, I haven't even given you the question that I've asked, which I find kind of amusing.
You did. You said top 100 songs that influenced my childhood.
Actually, no, I didn't. You inferred that's what I was going to say.
That's what you said.
That's what you inferred
It's what
I was
you
going to
said
say.
out loud.
Oh, here we go. We're going to prove this later.
Uh-huh.
Prove
Anyway,
it later.
continue.
Anyway, I didn't know music could influence childhoods because I didn't think most children listen to real music. They listen to nursery rhyme music, don't they?
I don't know. I don't have children. And I don't remember being a children.
I would think you don't really get into music until, I don't know, close to being a teenager, late elementary school. Anyway, we'll go with 5 since you say you can't get 10. And if you can find more than 5, go for it.
I told you have to go first, and I don't even know what top 5
let
you're
me
asking
finish.
me for.
Jiminy Crickets. I don't give a damn if I go 1st, 2nd, or 5th. Doesn't bother me. I used to bother me, but man, never mind. What I've been through in the last 6 months of sometimes always having to go first and sometimes always having to be last, yeah, I'm used to it by now. Doesn't matter. People are weird. You learn things. Anyway, top 5. Well, I don't know if I want songs. No. I want top 5, and we're going to, for sake of argument, we're going to call it albums that, and I think that's even the term they use in here.
I can't name albums.
Can't name albums?
Nope.
Oh my god. What can you name?
I don't know. Not albums.
Can you name artists?
Sure.
Alright. Well, I'll name albums. You don't have to name albums.
Do whatever you want.
Top 5 for me albums, for you artists who still speak to you today. Like, maybe when you're working out, you like to listen to that. Or when you're sitting by yourself in bed, put in your headphones and you like to listen to that. Okay, top. Do you think you could get 10 out of that? Because I could get 100.
Just pick a number and stick.
Well, but I'm
with how
asking
many
you.
you'd like me to come up with.
I'd rather not pick 10 and have you say again, I couldn't cut 10. I want to say 10 and have you say, okay, 10 is okay.
You clearly want to list at least 10, and so I will list as many as I can up to 10.
That would work too.
There you go.
Because I know you could list more than 5. So anyway, on my list here, as I look at my list, this first band that I see here definitely has kind of, I don't know, been locked into my head since I first heard them. And even this particular album is like one that I could listen to every single song over and over and over and over and over again. And it's AC/DC and their album. It's AC/DC and their album Back in Black. I could listen to every song on there over and over and over, and you get my point.
I do get your point.
Then, these are not in any particular order, by the way, just 10. Putting them in order would boggle the brain. I don't think either one of us could handle that. It would take 3 hours to figure that out. No, wait, I want that to be second. No. I want to be fifth. No, it's going to be fast. Then this next one is The Call, Modern Romans. Yep, that was a really good one. And I actually saw them probably 6 times in a row because there was a TV show that I used to get free tickets to, and they were always on the damn TV show. And now that I think about it, I wonder why they were always on the damn TV show. It's kind of weird. Then, the next one is Cheap Trick in Color. Yep, that was the third one, right? That's 3? Mm-hmm. Yep, okay. Number 4, A Day to Remember, and I gotta remember the name of the album. Homesick. Day to Remember, Homesick. I've always loved that group from like, I don't know, day one. Then Eminem, Encore, another good one. That's 4, right?
It's 5.
Was 5? Wow, moving along. Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. Real good. That was 6. Foreigner. Well, you know, Foreigner's first album, just called Foreigner, was excellent. And then they have several others that I would probably name as well. Journey. Escape. That was killer one. How many is that now? 7?
8.
Kiss. And honestly, first Kiss album I ever owned, believe it or not, was Kiss Alive. So I'm going to go with that. And then Led Zeppelin. Honestly, I'm not going to go with what people go with all the time. I think that what people go with all the time is too cliched. So I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. How many is that?
I have no idea at this point.
You lost track? Can I keep going?
You've only asked me like 107,000 times.
Can I just keep going?
Counting.
Can I just keep
Sure,
going?
how
And the
about
next
it?
one is Metallica. And it's the Black Album. Then Motley Crue. Their very, 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 very first one. What is it called again? Their very, very, very first one was,
I very much prefer Motley Lou, the
it was
fake
just
band from Hot
called-
Tub Time Machine.
What the hell was it called? Whatever you say. I don't remember what it was called, but it was their very, very first album. It was white and black. It had all sorts of good shit on it. Let's see here. Those are singles. Let's look at albums. Here we go. Now I'll find it. Too Fast for Love. That's what it was called. Motley Crue. Too Fast for Love. They were good.
Motley Lou.
Nirvana. You know, they had the album Nevermind. They were good. Nirvana. And I could probably stop there. I mean, Pink Floyd, The Wall. That's a good one. Porno for Pyros, self-titled album. Rage Against the Machine.
So much for stopping there, huh? Gotta keep going.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Rolling Stones, who knows? You could pick a million things about the Rolling Stones and just go. Slipknot, same thing. Stevie Ray Vaughn, greatest guitar player. Oh my god, such a good guitar player. Anyway, I'll stop at S.
I don't even remember the question at this point.
10, in your case, artists that
Sorry, I don't do albums.
Are still stuck with. I'm just saying, in your case, artists that are still stuck in your head today. That like they're kind of your go-to when you're sitting in the room, by yourself, whatever. You're home alone by yourself. You want to listen to music. What's your go-to?
I refuse to give any explanation as to why these artists are in
Nobody
my
asked for explanation. Just because I gave explanation doesn't mean you have to.
Are you going to let me talk? Fascist? I was prefacing what I was about to say. Now you have to wait. These are in no particular order. Obviously, they're just in the order they appear in my playlist. I'm sure I could put them in order, but there is Safety Suit. That's
the name of a band?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that name.
And you've listened to them, though you probably
But I've never
don't remember.
heard. I don't remember the name, but that's a neat name. I like that name.
Blue October, One Republic, The Script, Daughtry, Hedley, Mariana's Trench, They're the Deadman. Unfortunately, and if anybody makes fun of me, I'll fight you, Nickelback. How many was that?
About 100.
And Thriving Ivory. That's it. No explanation.
You know what's interesting about your list of music?
What?
They're all kind of similar type of music. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, you guys don't know her as well as I know her, but I know she likes country music. There wasn't a country artist in there.
That's because I only like country music when I'm in one certain mood.
I know she likes poppy kind of music too sometimes.
That's mood too.
None of that. Well, that's my point. That's what's interesting about it. But I think you're kind of proving the point I was trying to make that led me to the music concept in the first place, is that for me, if I were to explain each one of the, because remember, I went as specific as albums. Nothing wrong with just having artists. But here's the thing. Any of those albums that go back to an artist, those artists are my go-to. I could listen to any Led Zeppelin album and it evokes emotion. And that's the thing. Music,
I can only give you 2 albums, but I could tell you what they are.
But I think, when people say music is my friend, I relate to that because, let's face it, when you hang out with this friend, you get a certain feeling and you act a certain way. Then you hang out with this friend, you act a little bit differently and you feel a little bit differently. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with music. You listen to a certain artist, you feel a certain way, and then the next time you listen to a different artist, you feel a little bit different way. And so I'm with you on this, that music is closely tied to mood. But here's the question. Does mood drive music? Or does the music drive the mood?
The mood drives the music for me.
Or is it that at first the mood drives the music, but then the music drives the mood?
Nope.
No?
Mood drives the music.
See,
there are things I cannot listen to when I'm in certain moods because they irritate the shit out of me.
I can grasp that. Mm-hmm. I also know that you are more likely to listen, at least you used to be, you might not be anymore. You're more likely to listen to the same type of artist when you're in a certain mood. Whereas what I tend to have happen to me is that I listen to a lot of playlist type stuff. I don't like to just listen to an album all the way through all the time, or a certain artist or a certain type of music.
So what you just said is why I can't do albums.
So then what ends up happening to me is I might pick a certain playlist because of a mood that I'm in, but halfway through it changes my mood to something better. Music is like a friend. It evokes different kinds of emotions. And I think that's an important thing to notice about music, because what music you're listening to consistently tells you a lot about where your mental state is. I just feel like I've noticed that when I'm super stressed out, I listen to a certain kind of music. Olive is going to get the helicopter for me. She's going to bring it down. She says, my mommy and daddy are podcasting. Why are you flying over my house? Olive is cute. Get him, Olive.
I don't know. There's quite literally only, out of all of the artists I listed for you, only 3 albums that I can name. And they're all by the same artist. And that artist is my number 1 all of the time. And I'm not going to share them.
Well, it's interesting, though, because, like, to me, if you noticed, the music that I gave you, because it's all about, we said, it's like your go-to. It's what continually you listen to. My favorite band of all time isn't in that list.
That's interesting.
Because my favorite band of all time is reserved for times when I'm working out or when I'm trying to get pumped up.
Do you want to know what's interesting? My favorite band of all of the time, you know what it is. It's obviously Mariana's Trench. Okay, so they have 5 different albums now. I don't know if they have one before the other one that I have on my playlists, but and then they have a bunch of singles, and each one of their albums is for a different mood that I have. They're very specific moods, but their songs are all included in all of my playlists, so they kind of exist always.
You just brought up an interesting point. Let's see how well you know me. What is my favorite band of all time?
I don't know, but I think they scream a lot. And I thought it was a day to remember.
I'm surprised you don't know.
But you listed them, so it's obviously not.
Speak.
War of Ages.
War of Ages. He's right.
I suck.
That is my favorite band of all time. I like them a
At
whole
least
lot.
I knew the type of music it was. And I probably picked somebody in your top 5.
Well, yeah, Day to Remember. That's what you mentioned. Yeah. At first, I was like, wait a minute. You didn't pick anybody because your answer was, I don't know, but somebody who screams a lot. That isn't picking somebody. But then I realized, my brain fast forwarded a little bit, and I realized you did say, well, I thought it was A Day to Remember. And I was like, aha, that's what she's referring to. Because that's how we get into disagreements. Because my brain is very...
You heard the first
major milestone. It's major milestone centered, and everything else is kind of extraneous noise. Seriously,
It's okay. We wouldn't have had an argument about that one because Mitchell heard me and would have had my back.
but it's just interesting. So I'm like, wait a second. When I went back to the last milestone, all she said was, "I don't know, but I'm sure they scream a lot." That's not naming somebody. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. You probably lost some detail in there. And sure enough, I did.
You know, the Spotify Daily Mixes. So,
The thing that's useless on my phone because I do the music thing with Mitchell and Alyssa and you and let you guys pick songs, so I get like this funky, screwed up, eclectic discover.
Well, you don't get my music anymore because now we only music choice with the 2 of them, and then you play what you play. So you don't get my things anymore except for the ones you already had saved. But I don't. They're weird. I find them incredibly hard to listen to because I find certain music annoying when I'm in a certain mood. So they give me like 5 of these daily mixes, and I can listen to them for a little while, and then I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I don't like this at all.
But what is it? I don't know how to ask this question to get the right answer. And by right answer, I mean to actually get the question answered. What is it that makes a certain type of music, something that you would normally listen to, irritate you with certain moods?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it just makes me impatient. Like it's not getting to the part of the song that I really, really like fast enough. Or it's just... I don't know.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Because, like for me, I kind of grasp what you're saying. Because for me, how to put it? I have certain it's like certain artists especially that I could listen to them. I can listen to all my artists at any time. But then there's certain times where like that artist is just kind of flat for me. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel bad. It just doesn't adjust anything. It's just there. So I kind of grasp that. So know if maybe you're describing that as actually irritation when it's not really irritation, or if you're actually irritated.
Well, you know how, okay, the perfect example is Eminem. Because he has some just asinine, ridiculous songs. And then he has his, like, I'm dark and depressed and super addicted to things songs. And I like all of them. Separately and on different days of the week. Because when I'm in the mood to listen to Eminem's Addicted to Everything dark and moody music, his funny songs just irritate the shit out of me. But
That's interesting.
when I'm in the mood to listen to something like super upbeat or funny, his dark and depressing Addicted to Everything songs annoy the shit out of me.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Similar but different to how I am.
And that's the perfect one to describe it, because it's the same artist with two very different types of music.
It's perfect because you're talking about one artist, so it's clearly not the artist that bothers you.
Right.
That's interesting. But for me, it's just like, what'll happen to me is if I'm in a bad mood, I'll listen to a certain kind of certain artist. Mm-hmm. I even have some albums that I pick for that. And then that'll shift my mood. But then, like, if I want to get pumped up for something, like, you know, maybe I'm headed to the gym and I want to have a really good workout, or I'm going to a meeting and I want it to go really well and I want to be, like, high energy, mm-hmm. I listen to things like War of Ages. And then I also, what's interesting about it is I listen to The Who, and they have a song called Eminence Front that just, like, starts out real slow and keeps driving and driving and driving and driving, and it gets more and more intense. I like that song for some reason. It pumps me up. And it's, if you were to listen to it, you would hate it because it's very repetitive.
I don't necessarily.
Very drawn out.
I just don't like that song that you were listening to in the car the other day that says the exact same 4 words over and over and over again for 5 minutes. That's all. Repetitive in general is fine, but that song is terrible.
She's picking on classic songs, guys.
Just that one. That song is irritating.
I happen to know that one of the artists that I mentioned quite possibly listens to this show.
Do they?
Yes. And they happen to be the artist that was playing the music in the song that you claim is surely terrible. So I'm going to make sure not to mention the name of that group.
Well, you can tell me after, because I don't entirely think that you were talking about the same song.
I know what you're talking about.
If you say so.
I say so, and Mitchell says so too, and Yogi also says so.
Okay then.
But anyway, music. Like, look at the discussion that it's created here, and it's just music. And yet, there's things you can agree about. There's things you slightly disagree about. Then there's things you vehemently disagree about music. Music really does evoke every possible emotion.
We disagree most of the time on music, but we do have a nice, comfortable middle ground that we both like.
What, as far as music we can listen to?
Like Katy Perry.
What do you mean, as far as music we can listen to? You're not kidding. We listen to very different music. You are not kidding.
And my music isn't allowed in your car.
I didn't say that. We have a playlist that's like, I don't know, 7 hours long that we play a lot. And a lot of times I have to listen to your music 19 times in a row before 2 of mine come on. Then there's other times where you have to listen to. Then there's other times where you have to listen to mine 19 times in a row before 2 of yours come on. It very rarely mixes correctly.
I was referencing your comment from the other day when you told me you didn't let me play music in your car because all I listen to is country.
I was just giving you a hard time.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
No country is allowed in my car.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. When we made our, I think it's like just over 8 hours now, Vegas playlist, and all the way to Vegas, all we listened to was my music, and all the way home from Vegas, all we listened to was your
way to go, Spotify Shuffle Play.
But I fixed it. It's good now. Because the second time we went to Vegas, it was like
Yeah, but you shouldn't have had to do what you
1,
did.
3.
You basically proved that their randomizer doesn't work because you sorted our music out, and then you hit random play, and it still didn't play randomly because it played in the order you sorted it out in. That's ridiculous. Like, what the hell's wrong with Spotify random play when nothing's randomized?
All I did was, because the way we made our playlist is you added your half, and then I went and added my half. All I did was go into Spotify and sort the list alphabetically so that all my music wasn't in one hunk and all yours wasn't in the other hunk, and then we randomized it and it worked fine.
Here's the thing
It's very weird. I agree with you, it's very weird.
Here's the thing that I think is stupid about Spotify random play as well. And since we're ranting about Spotify, let's rant about Spotify a little bit. They have that random play feature that clearly we've just told you doesn't really work. But when you hit the next or previous button, previous should go to the last song you play, but next should go to a random song, not the next song in the playlist. That's not random. Stop it. Be random.
You know which?
We're going to tag Spotify in this, and we're going to have the comment, time to fix the random play feature. Do you know how good it would be if it actually worked?
Did you ever have an iPod Nano, the one with the wheel?
I never had an iPod anything.
You never had an iPod? Okay. The shuffle feature?
I had a Creative Labs something or other. Zen Micro. It was good. It was the best MP3 player out on the market.
There are people I dislike a lot that were obsessed with those, so my answer will always be you. Anyway, the iPod Nano I had the literal best shuffle. The best shuffle. It shuffled.
So why,
like a
if they had that 40 billion years ago?
Apple Music doesn't have a horrible shuffle. We just never use Apple Music because we're Spotify people.
But that wasn't what I was going to say. Why, if the Apple had that a billion years ago, how come the Spotify people can't figure out how to make that shit work?
Patented algorithm? I don't know.
Oh God, that would be awful.
Spotify needs to try harder.
If someone was so stupid that they allowed that to happen, that would be awful.
Don't get me wrong. I really like Spotify. But
you know what? There are going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with me on this. But I'm going to say that for the masses, Spotify has become to music services like Coke has become to cola.
And Apple Music is Pepsi.
I mean, there's a reason why companies that have Pepsi are required when someone says, "Can I have a Coke?" They're supposed to say, "Is Pepsi okay?" Because they're letting you know without letting you know that they have Pepsi, not Coke.
Does that mean Google Play Music is that weird Coca-Cola knockoff brand?
Yeah, it's like RC Cola. It's like RC Cola. But the point is, to the masses, when they think of a music subscription service, they think of Spotify.
Yeah,
that's the most common one.
It's that one, and then Apple Music is second, and then Google Play Music for the weirdos.
But you know what Google's doing that's very smart now?
What?
They're including the Google Music with the YouTube Red. They're combining it, which is brilliant.
You know what? It's very nice to be able to listen to, like, playlists of music when we had... No, I still have YouTube Red. So it's nice to be able to go in there and listen to, like, playlists of music instead of the next video autoplay feature thing that YouTube uses. I think it's kind of interesting. In the rare occasion that I feel like listening to music on YouTube instead of listening to music on Spotify.
Yeah, but now, like, I messed around with the Google Play Music. It's decent.
The quite literal best thing about Spotify for us is the fact that we found that family plan, and all 6 of us get Spotify for $15 a month.
Total, not each.
Total. Instead of $60 a month, it's $15.
We basically pay like $2.33 each.
Yeah. It's fabulous. So, if you're a family paying for Spotify for a buttload of people, stop it. They have a family plan. Save yourself some dollars.
Yup. I agree. Save your dollars.
And YouTube Red does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a family plan.
Yep. Get in it. Just like you got the YouTube TV family plan.
You know what? For most things, we've been able to find a family plan.
Yeah, these days. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've never really messed around. Like, I didn't accept a free trial of Apple Music or any of that stuff. I've never really messed around with it. I know Ashley really likes Apple Music.
I never activated the free trial, but I did the other month import all of the music from my computer into my phone because there's artists that don't exist on Spotify because I'm too Canadian. But they keep trying to push their free trial of Apple Music. I just don't care because I'll forget to cancel it, and then they'll charge me a horrendous fee that you'll be like, "What's this charge from Apple?" And I'll be like, "I don't know what this charge from Apple is."
No,
and then I'll
hear
figure it out and be a lunatic, and then I'll be like,
well, really, what I've seen between the Google Play and Spotify, it's all the same artists, it's all the same songs, it's all the same music. They're all everywhere. It's like podcasts. You know,
Right.
I get this Overcast app, and people say, "Oh, well, so-and-so's podcast is not on the Overcast app. It's only on Apple Podcasts." Well, guess what? If you're on Apple Podcasts, you're in Overcast because they get all of their podcasts from Apple. It's like how the internet used to be. Used to be that when you got your internet service, you just made sure you only paid a certain price because it didn't matter where you got it. It all came from one place.
right.
So the guy that was charging you $29.95 a month versus the guy that was charging you $19.95 a month, the guy that was charging you $29.95 a month was ripping you off because they were giving you the same exact thing as a $19.95
And it's
a month.
true because it's all the licensing musically. Though I put a VPN on my phone and now I can access Canadian Spotify.
That's interesting.
It tells me I'm traveling to Canada and lets me listen to Canadian Spotify.
It comes down to user interface. What interface do you like the best? It's like, what was it we were talking about? Something about how using a certain software is easier than another software, but we like the features of this software better, but this software we like the user interface. I don't remember what it was.
Productiva, Asana, and ClickUp?
No, it had nothing to do with task management. But in any event,
That's one we were talking about. That's
in any event, I think that's what it comes down to.
Then the winner is Spotify.
What people get comfortable with, that's what they do. You know, I'll tell you something. I've discovered something. I have fine-tuned my music lists and everything so well on Spotify, and I listen so much to just playlists that I don't know all of the new features that it has.
Yeah.
I don't even know, and I don't know how to get to the old features. I need to spend some time learning that. But you're right. I think Spotify has the most intuitive, easy method for finding music.
Apple's music app, before they came out with Apple Music, like when it was just you...
Well, it was
download-
iTunes.
Yeah. That interface was the bomb. I liked it a lot. It was easy to work with. You could find things, you could sort things. It was beautiful. The new Apple Music interface, I've tried. I just don't like it.
I think iTunes was kind of ghetto.
Well, I liked it.
I mean, I'm a software developer, so I look at it differently. But I think it was kind of ghetto.
Their new one?
It was
It's
literally
not
just
friendly.
two lists. Left was a menu, right was the content. And when you're looking at video content, it looked the same as when you were looking at audio content, and it looked the same as when you were looking at books. It was all the same.
On the computer, but it didn't look the same on the phone.
Well,
I'm talking about on the phone.
They didn't have a music app on the phone. They just had iTunes on the phone.
No, it was called Music.
I don't remember that.
Maybe it's because I didn't get an iPhone until the iPhone 5, but I had an iPod Touch before that. But I had like iOS 7 was the first iOS I had.
Wow.
And it had music.
That's crazy.
I had an Android before that, and I was just dumb.
You were on the dark side?
And before I had the Android, I had a flip phone, so
Well,
I slowly progressed into the light.
I think we could talk forever about music. We should probably take this topic up another day.
That's good, because I really do want to go to sleep.
Really? You're tired? Why would you be tired? You act like you did work today.
I actually really didn't do any work today.
Well, no complaining about being too busy later.
I will be. I'll be busy tomorrow. I only handled the emergency things today.
Anyway.
Anyway, good night, everyone.
Hasta luego. Hi, everyone. This is Mike, and I truly hope you enjoyed this show. You're able to subscribe to this show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher so as to never miss an episode. If by chance you did miss an episode here or there, you can catch up on all shows, past and present, by heading over to yogispodcastnetwork.com/TNR show. Thanks for listening.